welcome to the latest edition of Cruising with the Coaches. Conversation with Julie and Lee. Julie Cruz, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'll tell you.
Some
no,
hesitation.
no loofah story, nothing like that. But it's weird. So it's a weird question, and it now even ties into the topic before we get into the topic, right? But gosh, how do I even say this? You wouldn't consider me like when I think of a big guy, right? I think of someone who's like 6'4", 250, 260, right? Like this bodybuilder type person. That's what I think of when I think of a big guy, right? I don't consider myself a big guy in that sense. Okay? And I know like where are we going with this? I promise. So I'm at the gym the other day, get my workout in, and my sleeve split. Like the seam just split. And I was like, that shouldn't happen to me. Like that's what I'm like that in my mind, that kind of thing happens to big guys. Right? That's
Okay.
what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be cool if it wasn't one of my favorite workout shirts, first of all, right? It's one of my favorites. But I was just like, what did I do? And I've tried to attribute it to bad tailoring, like, poor workmanship, right? What I so when I sent it to someone and they were like, "Oh man, you pretty much hulked out," right? I was like, "Yeah," but I wasn't even. I guess that's what's confusing. I wasn't doing any arm exercises, nothing like that. So I'm like, what? How does it split, right?
Uh-huh.
I ask that because that may come across as the topic we're covering. You see, I put
Okay.
that in there. But you, I mean, just like you wouldn't consider. I'm not 6'4" and I'm not 250 pounds, right?
Right.
That that was the question. Like I'm not a big dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a
Mm-hmm.
bodybuilder. Yes, I work out, but I shouldn't be splitting sleeves, right?
Right.
That's what I was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the topic, and here's how that could kind of fold into the topic, right? The topic is called dry. Oh, I got to add it to there. Yeah, there we go. Dry begging, right?
Bring it home. Bring it home.
I'm, I'm a land the plane. I'm a land the plane, and then we'll get into this whole topic of dry begging. Basically, what this is like it's a little bit more than fishing for compliments, right? It's asking someone to kind of you're looking for attention. It's a passive aggressive way to either get somebody to do something for you, looking for attention, right? So me asking you, I'm not a big guy, am I? Right? Could be looked at as, oh, but yeah, you are, or right. That could be looked at as that. So that, but it was a purpose. I promise that sleeve did split. I'll send you the picture. I was like, what do we do? Anyway, enough about my workouts. Let's get into dry begging. And yes, it's as bad as it sounds, right? It's so the article was from verywellmind.com and Sanjana Gupta wrote the article. There is a behavior that TikTok has identified as dry begging. This term is catching on with Gen Z and millennials. While it can sound relatable, it could be a harmless thing. It's a major red flag, especially in relationships. All right. So, what is dry begging, you ask? Well, clinical psychologist Sabrina Romanoff says dry begging is an indirect way of seeking support, whether emotional, financial, or practical, without asking for it directly. Right? The licensed marriage and family therapist Claudia Dayano says it refers to the practice of hinting at a need or desire in a very obvious way without actually asking for it. It's essentially a passive aggressive style of communication. All right. So now that we've defined dry begging, any comments before we look at some examples of what dry begging is?
I got nothing.
Believe
I
me,
need examples.
just having to say dry begging so many times, I'm like, it, but there's examples, so let's jump into them. Let's jump
Yes. Yes.
in. All right. So examples of dry begging in relationships, right? This could look like, this necklace I saw online is so me. That's the person hinting for the gift, right? Or it could look like, I don't know how I'm going to get home from the airport. Someone looking for a ride. Excuse me. Or someone saying, I'm so exhausted. I guess I'll just do the dishes myself again tonight. Someone asking for help with chores. Or, wow, those new shoes would look so good with my outfit, right? That's in relationships. I'm gonna come back out here real quick. Anything you'd like to add to the examples from relationships? There's more. There's more.
I
You're
mean,
doing. Who's doing your dishes? No,
I don't know. Like,
it's a
I
lot.
it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what. Let's finish the examples because there's workplace, social media, right? So we'll finish the examples and then I'll come back to you. All right.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
it's believe me, it's a lot to take in. I've been there. I was like, dry begging. All right. Examples of dry begging in friendships. I can't believe my Netflix subscription just ended. Right. Someone hoping you're gonna share your your account with them. Um, I really miss going out for brunch, but I'm so broke right now. Right? Or my birthday's coming up and I'm not doing anything special. Hmm. So dry begging in the workplace looks like this. I've been staying late. I've been staying so late lately. It feels like I live here. Or it could look like, I'm so exhausted from all the overtime I've been working. Someone fishing for, recognition for that. Could also look like, I am so swamped with this project, I don't even know where to start. There's one more set of examples. This is what dry begging looks like on social media. Oh, feels like nobody cares lately. Could also look like, oh, and here's another birthday reference, right? Guess I'll just be lonely on my birthday this year. Or it could also look like, I wish someone would send me flowers just because. So now coming back out, those I'm just I'm just gonna turn the floor over to you.
Oh man. I guess this is when you're like so glad that you're an old ass adult. I mean, I
Yes, I
you know,
I'm
one
with you. Yeah,
I I don't surround myself apparently with people who talk like this. So like I don't,
yeah.
if anything, I'm the one who's saying to somebody like I don't know. I can't even
well,
I
well,
don't
here,
like I'm saying to someone, not that I'm dry begging, but I'm saying to
right,
someone, girl, you need to take a time out till 5 o'clock tomorrow and do something for yourself. Like I'm telling someone that they need to take a time out, like,
right,
and not
right,
that they're saying that they need it, or like I'm saying I'm taking you to lunch or I'm doing this for you, or like they're not even asking for it. You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
So
You're recognizing it before they even. Well,
and
let's.
they would do the same for me. You know what I'm
That's what I was
saying?
gonna say. You
And
made it clear you don't surround yourself with people who
yeah.
have that, and I get that. It when I was first reading through these examples, I can see where the marriage and family therapist was like, this is just passive aggressive communication, right? It's
Yeah.
it's saying something, hoping that who you're saying it to is going to do the thing that you are saying,
We'll pick up the
right?
vibe. Yeah.
Exactly. And we've done shows on um too old to play games, right? Like that. It's a lot of game playing. It's a lot of um I'm trying to say it without passive aggressive all the time too, but it's like read my mind, do what I want.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess these dishes ain't gonna wash themselves. You know, like like I don't like I don't
but nobody who's got time to, to the energy that it takes to have that statement. First of it, fine, I'm gonna just do the dishes, right? I mean, yeah, dry begging, right?
Wow.
It's
And who knew
it's
it had a name?
well, we call it passive aggressive.
I, I call it having kids. I don't know. Teenagers. I don't know.
Well, apparently TikTok identified this as dry begging. I was like, all right,
Wow. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Yeah.
But but here are some ways to deal with dry begging. All right,
Okay.
all
Okay.
right. So hold on, hang tight. Or no, I'm sorry. This is why people do it. First of
Oh,
all,
okay.
right? Um, fear of rejection. Okay. Uh, poor communication skills. I think that's self-explanatory. The manipulation part is also self-explanatory. Then that's more about the emotional manipulation. When people are testing a relationship, right, to see how deep that is, how much someone cares about you, right? Again, passive aggressive. When someone is seeking out favors, and this piece was actually interesting, but there could be cultural or social conditioning where being direct is looked at as being rude, right? Um, Actually, I can speak to that one on a work kind of a thing. Um, Deal with Japanese clients a lot at work, and a lot of times they will use translators as their go between our different engineering departments, right?
Okay.
And they're always very nice, even if it's like a big problem, like say they're not getting the signal they're supposed to get. Oh, okay, thank you so much. And this, like, there's a politeness about all of it, while the actual taker is fuming mad. Like, how can we not be receiving this, right? Because it's culturally looked at as rude to be angry with that interaction, you know? Or it's also rude to be direct and say, get your shit together and fix this so I can get my signal now, right? Like you messed up.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of get that part. That's not necessarily passive aggressive when it's cultural, right? Um, but the other ones, hmm, they people doing it like seeking attention. You know what I mean? That's what it seems like. That you're having your own little pity party, and you want somebody to feel sorry for you, so you get some attention, as opposed to being, hey, you know what? I'd like an accountability buddy, or I'd like someone to work out with. Like, just say what you need, say what you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was taking away from this. Any extra thoughts you have on that?
Well, and it's probably also in a household where they weren't told to use your words. Because that's what I always with my kids. I was
Mm,
always use your words. Like I can't read
mm,
your mind. Like what do you need? And
mm.
so sometimes your kids, they're sippy cups and you're just kind of like, dude, like
I don't know what means. Like,
exactly. And and it's funny because my oldest was always good at translating for my youngest. And to this day, like there's still things that he says. I'm like, huh? Because he talks so fast, and I'm like, what did he
sure.
just say? And she'll be like, oh, he said blah 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 blah. And I'm like, I did not hear that. What I heard was a blah 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 blah. She's like, no, he said da 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 da. And I'm like, wow. But like,
Yeah.
if you don't tell them, use your words or talk slower, or I can't
Right.
understand you, like,
Right.
then they like get all like upset. And then you're
And
like,
you're not listening or the,
exactly. You're just kind of like, well, or even if you explain to them, look, if we aren't making eye contact, I
it
can't
means
hear you. Like, I can't hear you.
I'm
I'm
not
not
paying
listening. I'm
attention.
not paying attention, or, and so like if you don't
Yeah.
explain, the rules of communication, that they don't get it. So like if you don't explain those things, then, that's
Indeed.
on you as a parent, So it's not always the kid's fault.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is all very interesting because
I
I've never really.
I didn't realize there was a term that it
Yeah,
had been identified at, but well, again, we gotta put this disclaimer out. We are not Gen Zers. We're not millennials,
yeah.
and this is kind of picked up with them on TikTok. So I was like, this is interesting. I didn't
Well, and we were
think
also
of
the generation of you get what you get and you
and
don't
get
have a
upset.
fit. Yeah. And so and
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
got something to say about it, don't say nothing.
Because it ain't gonna mean anything. I mean,
Exactly. Nobody gonna
it's
listen
not
to
gonna
you
help your case.
anyways.
Right, right.
Exactly. And so I think that's our generation. So I don't know.
Yeah,
This is all very interesting, honestly.
100%, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
So why don't we take a break here, because what we have more with dry begging are the red flags in the relationships. We'll also talk about um, how to deal with dry begging, and what if you're the one who's doing the dry begging.
Mm.
so so let's take a break, and when we come back, we will discuss those things about dry begging. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the latest edition of Cruising with Coaches, conversation with Julie and Lee. We have been talking about dry begging. Yes. I, something that just can't be explained other than we call it passive aggressive communication. All right.
Exactly.
It's really what it boils down to. But what you heard in the before the break were like different examples and why people do it. Right. I think it's pretty clear that neither one of us um, doesn't he try begging? But I don't know, because we'll find out. We're going to talk about what if you're the person
doing the begging, right?
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. So let's get into the red flags of why it's a bad thing in relationships. All right. So when dry begging is a red flag, it undermines honest communication. It also is a sign of emotional immaturity. And I think this one is self explanatory, but it's manipulative, right? Um, we were talking about this in the break, but it's also exhausting for the other person. It's exhausting trying to be a mind reader. I'm sure it avoids accountability for the person doing the begging, and it can create this imbalance, right? Of one person giving more and more, as opposed to, mutual giving in a relationship. Um, any comments on the red flags before we move on?
I mean, it was just like we were talking about during the break. I mean, it's just
Mhm.
the emotional intelligence of it all. Like, if you are involved with somebody who this is this is the relationship that you have, and if you're not feeling one like their therapist,
If you're not
right?
feeling exhausted,
If you're not feeling one, their
yeah,
therapist, two, their savior, or
mhm,
three, I don't even know what your option as three would be. But
yeah,
like if you're constantly being their go-to for
mhm,
answers, I and it's one-sided, because you would have to assume it's one-sided.
right,
So
right.
it's got to be exhausting, I would have to assume.
Or like I was saying, just exhausting trying to interpret or decipher. Do you want me to do this? Do you not want me to do this? Do you like what's
Or
the
just exhausting and trying to figure out what the ask is, because it sounds like it's always
yeah,
open ended. Like it's kind of
right,
like, okay, so am I supposed to give you a ride, or do you
right.
want money so that you can get your own ride, or you like
Well, and that was the accountability part that it mentioned in the article, saying the person doing the dry begging can always come back and say, "Oh, I never asked for it. I don't ask you for anything."
exactly. And that's the key right there. Because then I promise you, whenever they get the result or they get the goal of whatever they did, it's gonna, and
Yep.
I did this all
I
by myself.
bootstraps.
And you're kind of
I
like,
worked hard. Yeah. You're like,
what?
wait,
Like,
what? Yeah.
I,
Mhm.
uh, uh, okay, yeah, you did that all by yourself.
What do they call it? I got receipts. I can.
Yeah.
Well, you might have
ex-
actual receipts, but
And you're kind of like, yeah, you did that all by yourself. Okay. Like,
okay. Weird story here, and I I mean, this wasn't called dry begging, 20, 30 years ago, right?
oh,
But
it probably was, but we just didn't know it.
yeah, there's probably a clinical term that's it's in some dictionary somewhere. But I recall having this conversation with my sister, right?
Okay.
My dad was always giving her a thing, well, I'm going to fill in the gap, right? Her car broke down, I'm going to get her a car. This broke down, whatever. And he was the type of person who would hold it over her head, like, well,
Mm.
I did this for you, right? And then that caused friction in a relationship. And I was like, so tell him no. And she was like, but I don't ask for it, but you don't say no either.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
now, and also would walk around with, oh, my car's, I'm having car trouble, or I'm right. It was always this pity party is what I called it,
Hmm.
right? Woe
Okay.
is me. So I didn't even think about that till just now. I was like,
See,
that was dry begging. Yeah.
see,
And I was like,
because
but
she wanted it. She
it
wanted the assistance.
absolute never said no.
Hmm.
And I was like, but tell him no. But I didn't ask for it. I didn't ask you if you asked for
Yeah.
it. I just
She
said say
threw it
no.
out there, but she threw it out there. See.
100%. Never occurred to me. See, you learn something new. Watch the
See.
show, you learn something new.
See.
So let's take a look at learning how to deal with how to respond to dry begging. All right. So these are the ways that you can respond. Don't jump into rescue mode right away. Right. Don't be Captain Save a person. um, ask ask for clarity on what that person really needs. You should open or encourage open communication. You also get to decide if or when you're going to help, right? Something that we talk about regularly on the show is setting boundaries. It is nothing wrong with setting boundaries on how or if you help, right? And I think lastly, it's recognizing the patterns of this communication from this person, right? Um, Coming back out here on camera, anything that you would like to add to how you respond to people dry begging? And yes, I did say Captain Sabo on the show.
But I mean, and depending on what your relationship is with this person, I think it's perfectly fine with, like you said, like what with the boundaries and understanding, like if this is a person who only calls you when they need something or only calls you when they want something, it's perfectly fine to say, hey, like if they're saying, let's do lunch or let's do this or blah, 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 blah. And you're just like, well, I mean, this is cool, but if it's specifically because you need something, why don't you just go ahead and ask me now? So
we don't have to go to lunch.
We don't have to go to lunch. Yeah. So like if you already know what the pattern is, just put it out there. Like, hey, if it's just that you're going to ask me to because you need something, or let's just handle that right now. So I can, either one, think about it up until we do lunch and I can give you the answer there, because what ends up happening is sometimes people like to put you in that lunch situation so that you're on the spot and you have to give them an answer, and you know what I mean. So
and you're in a public place, so you can't really be like, what the
exactly. I mean, and it could be anything from as simple as, I need, I don't know, a ride to the airport from blah, 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 but they've already made plans they've already made the trip, and they just need you to give them a ride. Well, if you already made the plans, then just ask me now. Like,
or
you could ask me before you made the plans.
How are you going to make plans if we're supposed to be besties? You made plans, but you didn't ask me to go on the trip, but you want me to take you to the airport?
Well, you could do that too. You could go there too. Like that I don't care about. But it's just kind of like, like, I don't know, just ask me. Like, don't or just text me, or like, we don't have to do the whole ordeal of this that, or the other. Yeah, just ask me so that I could just give you a straightforward answer. We don't have to do the whole song and dance. Let's just do it. Yeah, just direct
communication.
Yeah.
This is why this topic was like, what?
Like,
I don't have time for that.
But it goes back to what they were saying, though, the rejection thing. The fear of rejection is so high that they feel like they have to give you something like lunch in order to get the answer that it is that they're wanting, which is the yes, you can do it kind of a thing. But it's just kind of like
they sweeten the deal, right? Sweeten the pot,
right?
Or like the example I was saying about my sister, throw it out there. But I didn't ask for anything. I don't owe you anything because I never ask anyone for anything. Sorry, I'm replaying hers. but that's what it. And I've heard that from other people. I never asked for anything.
Yeah,
you didn't say no. You weren't clear. You weren't clear.
Yeah.
So lastly, we'll look at what if you are the person who's doing the dry begging. Like,
you don't even know it.
What happens? Well, if you are the person doing the things that we have talked about, you got to acknowledge that pattern in yourself, first of all, right? The next thing would be to understand your motivations. What is it that you're actually trying to achieve, right? Um, get clear on your needs. So I'll do the next two, right? Get clear on your needs and practice being direct. That's what we were just talking about, right? Direct communication. Part of direct communication is making I statements. Well, I need X, Y, and Z from you. Are you able to do that? Yes or no, right? Get comfortable with hearing no. Get comfortable with hearing no. Work on your self esteem. Look for healthy role models. And I think that's critical if you're trying to like build your self esteem. Look for a role model that you might be able to borrow from. And last but not least, definitely seek professional help if you think you need that. We have not been shy on this show to talk about therapy or getting professional help for things. If you are a person who's recognized some of these aspects of dry begging and you didn't know it and no one told you about it, maybe you do need some help in communicating directly. Maybe there's something underneath that has you communicating that way, you know? And there's nothing wrong with getting help to uncover that for sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Or, I mean, the other piece to that too is to think about, is it the only time I'm communicating is when I want something? Ask yourself that, because that's annoying as hell. I mean,
Only
let's
time
be
I text
honest.
Julie is when it's time
Only
to
time I talk
record.
which you know that's not true. But like if like seriously, if the only time you reach out to somebody is when you want something, that's annoying.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
if when y- someone sees on on their phone, that's when you pop up, people know,
It
oh, she only wants something. That's she only texts me when she wants something, or she only calls me when she wants something. You
yeah,
know, like you got to know that, hey, it's okay to message somebody just to say, hey, what's up? Hey, what you
right.
doing? You know, or, hey, did you see this on whatever? This is, oh, I thought of you, or, it can't,
Or
you can't just be when you want something,
or I
period.
wanted to add this too, right? If because I don't want people to think dry begging means that you can't ask for help, right?
Right. Right.
And maybe you don't know how to directly say, you know what, I'm struggling. I'm whether it's a rough day, rough time period, whatever it is, but that's okay to say, hey, I'm having a rough day, right? That's not passive aggressive. That's actually telling somebody you're struggling. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't have to go into details, but that gives them at least enough information that they can then reach back out to you and say, tell me more about that. You want me to call you? Do you want to talk about it? Right? It gives the option, but it's communication. It's not, oh, I wish someone would, I'm not going to have a party this year for my birthday. I wish someone would throw me a party. I'd be like, good luck with that. Like, I, sorry, I'm working. Can't do.
But again, if you're communicating regularly,
Yeah.
you expressing that, your birthday's coming around and you don't usually celebrate it, but it kind of would be nice to celebrate it,
Yeah.
then if you're communicating that with what would be your closest friends, they would probably start communicating with each other. You're like, you know what? She's been good to me. I think we should have a dinner for her and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
But again, if you're communicating with people, then that's what they would do for you, type of a thing.
Exactly.
And that's not to say, I mean, there are people in your life who, we all have full plates. Ain't nobody saying that they're not busy. Okay, we are all busy, but I'm just saying you can't only communicate to people when you want something, but you can communicate with people when you do want someone's time, but it just can't be when you want something. Does that make sense?
Or 100%,
Yeah.
100%. And to piggyback on what you're saying as we wrap it up, it also can't be the only communication. Like if that person that you're communicating with when you need something, want something, if they come back to you when they need something, okay, maybe it's 9 times out of 10 one way, but that 10th time, you gotta be there for that
Right.
person. It,
Right.
it can't be a one way. It's got to be the two-way street, right?
Right.
And at least that person will feel like, okay, they've done something for me, right? When I needed it, they were there.
Right.
Not all the time, not every time, sometimes.
Sometimes. Sometimes. Not all the
Exactly, exactly.
time.
Well, you guys, we hope you have learned something about dry begging, and
Dry begging. What a phrase.
I,
Jeez.
it sounds awful.
Awful.
I I can't. I can't. It sounds, yeah. We'll change the title of the episode, but that's what we
Oh
talked
my
about today, you
gosh.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to think. Oh, I hope I've
we
never done that.
well, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. As you know, you can find us on Spotify, right? Go to the Live All Good podcast, search Cruising with the Coaches. Please, thank you to all the new subscribers. Appreciate you. Make sure you go to the YouTube page. Go ahead and check out all the episodes, some of the shorts. Like and subscribe, that kind of thing. Yes, and you can also find us on the Book of Face. Check us out there. There's clips and some of the episodes there too. Um, yeah. Until next time, Lee and Julie signing out.